Greetings, my beautiful lovelies, it's Emmy. Welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare, an online learning community that offers memberships with meaning. With so much to explore and real projects to make and fellow creatives to support you, Skillshare empowers you to reach your goals. Skillshare offers classes that are designed for real life, short classes that you can incorporate into a busy schedule. So right now I'm trying to re-inspire myself to get into podcasting, and I am taking the class hosted by John Lagomarsino. It's called How to Make a Podcast, Plan, Record, and Launch with Success. And so far I really like it. It's concise and it makes this whole idea of tackling another media for me totally accessible. And Skillshare is really affordable, especially if you compare it with in-class classes and workshops. Skillshare is giving away 2 free months of their premium membership to boost your creativity. Click the link down below to learn more. And after that, it works out to be around $10 a month. Big thanks to Skillshare for their continued support and for sponsoring this video. Now today, I'm going to be tackling homemade vegan cheese. Now, as a former vegan, I understand the craving for cheese. I really miss not only the flavor, but the texture of melty cheese. Now, this was quite a while ago. This was back when I was in college. And at that time, we did not have Daya. And so finding a good melting cheese was tricky. So if you wanted something like a pizza or even just a grilled cheese or something that had that kind of oozy, bubbly topping, it was difficult to find something that would simulate that texture, especially the stretchy pull. Now, I know these days it's a little bit easier, but today I'm going to be tackling a homemade recipe, thanks to Jim22Q on Twitter, who suggested I try this recipe. And it looks lovely because it has this beautiful cheese pull. You know that shot where you're just like, wow, and the cheese is like, yeah. And how do you get that without dairy? Typically you would have mozzarella, and it's the proteins in the cheese that's giving you that stretch. And also this kneading process. If you've missed my homemade mozzarella videos, be sure to check those out as well. Mozzarella is a beautiful thing, not only for its pleasant, just creamy milk flavor, but for that luscious cheese pull and chewy texture. But if you're at all like me, you're wondering, how do you do this magic? Well, with this ingredient. Ding, ding, ding. And this is kirimochi. So as you can see, I've already opened this package because I've already eaten some, because I love this type of mochi. I love mochi in general. Mochi, by the way, are rice cakes that are made from glutinous rice. Glutinous rice, the reason why I add that adjective is because it's not made with regular rice. Glutinous rice has this really delightful sticky texture, and when pounded and kneaded, you can really develop this stretchy texture. So you see glutinous rice used in this sticky, chewy dough form in many desserts all over Asia, including Japan, where it's known as mochi. So this particular mochi is called kirimochi, and it looks like this. And they are blocks, hard blocks of mochi. And there are multiple ways to use the kirimochi. My all-time favorite is to toast them or to roast them, either on a stovetop, but my favorite way so far has been using the air fryer. Lots of hot air, and these puff up magically. They kind of explode and expand like marshmallows, and then they get toasted on the outside, so they're kind of crunchy, and when you eat them, they have this wonderful chewy texture along with this crisp roasted flavor on the outside. And then you dip them into soy sauce and then wrap them with nori seaweed, which is crunchy and just, I just had it for breakfast yesterday. It's just one of my favorites. Lots of mochi is eaten around New Year's in Japan, and every year the news reports of, this is actually very sad, of people dying from choking from mochi because it is so chewy. Usually there tend to be older people, but mochi is very sticky, and it can cause a choking hazard. So be forewarned. The recipe I'm going to be using today comes from a blog that was shared to me by Jim, and I will put a link down below to the original one. It comes from a blog called Ryan's Recipes. Ryan says she was inspired to make this recipe from her grandmother, who used to make mochi, which is potato mochi. So this recipe contains not only mochi, but potatoes as well. So earlier I got a waxy Yukon Gold potato. The recipe doesn't specify what type of potato, only that it's medium in size. I peeled it and I diced it and I boiled it in some water until the potatoes completely soft. Then I drained them and I reserved the potato water. I'm gonna put the potatoes back into the pot. we're supposed to add the kirimochi to the potatoes, but before I just add them in there, I think I'm gonna chop them up to facilitate them melting. I know this looks really odd and manufactured. It looks like some kind of eraser, but it doesn't have a smell at all to it. It's very, very firm. So I'm just gonna cut these into little bits. Then we're gonna add a bunch of stuff to make it taste somewhat cheese-like. And when I was vegan, I remember that main cheese-like thing was nutritional yeast. And if you've never had any nutritional yeast, it's delicious. It's this kind of bright yellow powder or flakes, have a really great kind of almost MSG kind of flavor. There are a lot of glutamates in nutritional yeast, so it gives you that kind of very satisfying, salty, kind of briny, almost sweet flavor. Lots of B vitamins, so it's really, really great if you're vegetarian or vegan. I, to this day, put it on my popcorn. I love it so much. 100 milliliters, or about a half a cup of the potato water. Bring that up to a boil and get everything nice and soft. Everything is already cooked. We're just trying to blend everything together. As whenever I'm making potatoes, particularly potatoes for mashing, I always add my salt to the boiling water, just like I'm making pasta, because I feel like it adds a ton of flavor. My mochi is starting to get really soft as well. Did you ever see that old mochi video I did back when I was living in Japan? We harvested yomogi, which are these herbs that grow seasonally in Japan, and I made green uncle-filled mochi. Oh, those were the days. So already this is looking kind of cheesy. I'm gonna add 2 heaping tablespoons of nutritional yeast. Love this stuff. 1 teaspoon of vinegar. I'm using rice wine vinegar. Boop. Ryan says this is optional, but I'm gonna add it because I like it. About a 1/4 teaspoon of Dijon mustard and a bit of pepper. Oh, I need to refill my pepper grinder. Ugh. Next, we're gonna use an immersion blender to incorporate everything together. Now, I know immersion blender sounds fancy. It's just a stick blender. It's actually relatively inexpensive. I found mine on clearance at the Target for 30 bucks, so reasonable. It's not anything all that fancy, but it makes things like this really easy because you get to blend right into the pot. Look at that! It's so gooey. It's like Cheese Whiz gooey. Oh, that's amazing. So to transform this into a grilled cheese sandwich, we're going to use a little bit different technique than the traditional means of making this kind of sandwich. We're going to toast the bread separately. So I'm just using some grapeseed oil here, high temperature oil, and I'm just going to toast my bread. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to give this a taste for salt. Whoa. It has a very interesting texture. It's starchy from all that potato, so it kind of coats everything, but the taste is really good. It's got that lovely flavor of nutritional yeast, umami, and just satisfying. It does need some more salt. Oh, you know, I missed a key ingredient. The reason why it needs more salt is because I missed a key ingredient, which is this, miso paste. I might have to break out the immersion blender again, but we shall see. There we go. Now let's try it again. Ooh, and a strong flavor of miso paste, which is salty and soybeany, fermented. That sounds like a terrible description, but it tastes like miso soup in a lot of ways. I know, because you're wondering, it does not taste like cheese. Cheese is cheese, and this has a similar texture to, say, to Cheese Whiz, a little bit different because it's starchier and it coats your mouth differently. But for that satisfying kind of melted cheese texture, this does it. Cheese on there. Hers doesn't look as yellow in her picture. I wonder why mine looks so much more yellow. Now we're gonna put this back on top. Oh boy. Not as cheese pulley as I thought. I'm gonna go ahead and taste this and then I'll see if I can experiment with a better cheese pull. Alrighty, let's give this a taste. Itadakimasu. Got the crisp, toasted bread on the outside, and then you've got this kind of umami-rich, stretchy, salty filling in the middle that is melty. It has a little bit of pull, similar to cheese. It doesn't taste exactly like cheese because it's not. but it does hit that spot. So I was really disappointed with the cheese pull here, and I noticed that there was a big difference in texture once I added the miso. So I tried this again, the same technique, potatoes and the mochi again, but this time I omitted both the Dijon mustard and the miso. I also made sure not to add too much water and to allow the cheese to cool a little bit to, again, develop more of that stretchy texture. And this time the recipe worked much better. I liked the flavor better and I got my cheese pull. Alrighty, so there you have it. That's how you make homemade vegan stretchy cheese. A couple of notes: don't put too much miso, otherwise it gets too miso-y and it gets too salty. Also, you get a better cheese pull effect and stretchier texture when the cheese is a little bit cooler. When it's hot, it's more like cheese you would find in macaroni and cheese, or like a cheese whiz in texture. Big thanks to Jim22Q who shared this with me, and big thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to get 2 free months of premium membership from Skillshare, click the link down below. After that, it works out to be about $10 a month. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Also, if you'd like to get this shirt, I will also put a link down below. Alrighty, see you next time. Melty cheese, melty cheese, melty cheese.